What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Collider Studio, presented by Saratoga Spring Water. We've got another Sundance 2023 interview for you with the team behind To Live and Die and Live. Congratulations on your movie.
Yay! Woo! Thank you.
Qasim, you're probably getting this a lot today, but I need you to do the honors and give a synopsis of your movie, because we know what it is, but a lot of people out there who can't be at Sundance this year do not.
Okay. To Live and Die and Live, story about Muhammad, who comes home to bury his recently deceased stepfather, and is assigned with completing all these tasks to settle his estate and such. But he may be finished by his addiction and issues before he finishes the task. I got it right.
Yes. That's impressive.
About time.
I've
been fumbling along that synopsis for days now. Just like, it's about a guy who...
I'm glad all that practice paid off here, but I'm glad you got all the practice, because that means you are spreading the love for your movie, as you should be at this festival.
Got to.
So this industry comes with a lot of roadblocks, and I was reading that the film was rejected from last year's festival, and it's a pretty big deal to be able to overcome that and forge forward and not get dejected. So what was it like processing that and figuring out what you needed to do to make sure your movie got seen but still adhere to your original vision?
Wow, you read up on this, huh?
Oh, I did.
So, one thing I think you learn, or I hope you learn in this business, is patience. You know, I meet people who come to LA or New York or something. Like, all right, I got 2 years. if I don't blow up, in 2 years, if I don't blow up, I'm like, all right, bro, I'll talk to you in a few. But you look at the landscape, and when they initially were like, look, it's not ready. You need a lot more time with this movie. In retrospect, they were right. We sent a very long cut in. It was not nearly what it is. And to be honest, in like things that become important, priorities, my family was a big priority at that time. And if I'm trying to complete this movie last winter, to make the deadlines for Sundance, I don't get to spend like that real like committed time with the family that I got to spend. And so, you know, I knew I had to go back at it, and that's what resubmitting allowed me to do later.
Another question that's going to reveal how much research I did. You moved back to Detroit.
Yeah.
That can be a scary thing in this industry, to move away from the hub, from Hollywood or New York, and still feel like you have a chance to make it in this business. So for anyone out there who needs to prioritize themselves but still want to have a foot in this world, what would you tell them? How did it work for you, and how could it work for them?
So I can't answer the second part of that question, because everyone's journey is so different. Everyone you talk to who has gained any ground in this industry has a completely different story, for the most part. So I don't know, but maybe my story can give some insight. For me, it was the pandemic, so we are learning that a lot of things could be virtual. It was me watching my son becoming a pandemic baby who only understood his parents to be home and to be inside, right? Realizing we have all this family back home that he could be around. And when it came to it, that became the most important thing. And, you know, I am a writer and director, and I can make stuff. So I can make stuff anywhere, and I can write anywhere. If I need to go to LA for meetings, I will do that. I'll come there once a month. That's fine. And for anyone else trying to break in or whatever, I think, you know, you do great work, the work speaks, you know.
Could not agree more with that. Cory, I want to come your way, because I know you've worked with Qasim before.
Yes.
What is something about his approach to the work that has stayed consistent from film to film, but what is something he accomplished on this one that made even you go like, damn, I can't believe you're capable of that now?
He dared. Qasim is a brother of mine, but he dared to be great. You know, he said, I'm taking this back home to the D. You know, shout out to Detroit. And he just believed in it. You know, he loves Detroit. This guy breathes, sleeps, eats Detroit. So it's just like, I knew that Detroit had something to offer, like cinematically and the texture of Detroit, and I knew Qasim was going to capture all of those things. And he's just so passionate when he's like saying, this is going to work. You know, sometimes I'm grabbing the camera, I'm going to be doing everything, but Cory, we got something special, and it was on the page. So that's how I knew when I hear the passion, he just has to call me, and I would always be there for him. And we worked, you know, we did Destin before, but this is he takes it a step further. And Amin, Skye, you know, Maryam, his sister, everybody is amazing in this film, and hopefully I'll win an Oscar one day. I'm going for the nominations.
Speak it into existence.
Listen,
that's what
I
we
believe
do here.
in the
manifest.
power of manifestation.
Yes.
And
Always.
that's what I believe. You say what you get. So if you say it enough, you're going to get it. And you can do anything on God's green earth, and I do believe that. I moved to LA with $70, true story, and look at me now, I'm at Sundance. You know?
Share that belief. I like that.
With gold teeth in my mouth.
For my supporting ensemble, I'm leaving you out. You have a powerhouse
You
performance
see this
that
coat?
we have to get into.
You see this coat? No,
for my supporting ensemble,
yes.
It is hard enough to give a full picture of a lead character's life, but then you only get so much screen time to work with, and you need to be able to support the lead character, but also make your character feel like they have history and that they're whole. So can you each tell me something you came up with for your character that we don't necessarily see on screen or hear about via dialogue, but you thought about it and we can now feel it influencing your performance and making it whole?
That's a great
Damn.
question.
I can't believe I
I'll
got
be
all
short.
that was a
I'll be
long
short.
question.
No, you go first, Maryam. You ain't said nothing. That's Maryam. You go. Yeah, you go. You go.
I'll just say it was very easy for me to connect with Amin, with Muhammad, because it was just so real. There was a lot that happened off screen, including, you know, him being around our real family a lot in Detroit when my mother was doing the catering for the film. She was around every single day.
Shout out
good
to moms.
mom.
I love her
3
so
sisters,
much.
2 brothers, like we were all there
She's a real
and
one.
creating real connections, eating together. I remember Amin told me, he said, you know, because I don't like plantains, I don't like anything that's like banana related, smell, nothing. He's like, you know, just taste this plantain. I'm like, okay. And it was really good. I'm like, he's right. So things like that happened that just authentically made him feel like a brother, you know, so it was just natural.
I love that. How about for the two of you?
Yeah, for me, playing the role of Asia, I pretty much hijacked the character to therapeutically try and heal myself from life experiences. You know, I'm an adult woman with a lot of adult experiences, and I didn't necessarily look at it or deal with it. I would avoid it. And you would see that even in Asia's character, and the commonalities that she shared with Muhammad was the avoidance of grief and acceptance and the inevitable. And being able to play Asia with Muhammad was just so easy with Amin, because Amin just gave me so much permission to be present and unleash the beast inside, you know? Because as actors, we can have an idea of what we want to do, but when you realize your scene partner is not watching you perform, your scene partner is in it with you, Amin is in it with you.
And Amin challenges you.
You know what
also.
I mean? He's not
challenges
waiting
you.
for his next line. You know, he's feeling it as you go, which makes you have to feel it as he goes. And you just stay so present in the moment. And that's what I did with Asia, was just to stay as grounded as humanly possible, but also feel everything that I was feeling.
Cory, the pressure's on. Can you follow those two answers up
Well,
now?
I'm gonna be quick. My thing is, you know, the character's short and sweet, but it's a pivotal character in Muhammad's life. You know, I feel like he could I show vulnerability of what every black man goes through in this country and across the world. You know, and even though we're coming from like the inner city Detroit, he can still say, you know, we still feel as human beings that you're scared. You know, the police. You know, no matter what, we're all scared of the police. When especially a black man at 4 or 5 in the morning, you get out, hands up. You know, there's no cameras out there, really. It's just you and the police. So it's kind of like to show that moment, that real moment of what we deal with in society today, and to just tell them, you know, I'm scared for my life. You know, it's like he spoke for every black man in the world at that moment. So I love the vulnerability of my character, for real.
All right, Amin, you're up. Your performance. My God, Muhammad's got a lot on his plate in this movie. Of everything he's going through, of everything he's trying to deal with, which specific element of that character did you think would be most challenging? And then ultimately, was that the most challenging, or did something else about him catch you by surprise?
I initially thought that the most challenging thing would be the functioning addiction of it all. Because he's dealing with an anxiety of burying his stepfather, and he's already a functioning addict. So how would I approach his behavior, his highs and lows, in the context of grief, the death of someone that is pivotal, part of the foundation of who this man is? He's losing, and he has to bury him so quickly because of his culture. That's what I initially thought would be the most challenging aspect of filming and of Muhammad. What actually became the hardest thing is the consistency of going through a 20-some day shoot that was as taxing emotionally as it was physically. And to not go to sleep at night because Muhammad just wouldn't sleep at night, and turn around and give, hopefully a 12-hour day performance, hopefully, right? But that grind, just the physical toll, it took me a while coming back to decompress and to shake Muhammad.
When you're playing a character who's dealing with so much and has some maybe knee-jerk reactions to things, expresses warmth and loves to his family, I could go on and on listing things. Do you have to come up with, I guess, an anchor or kind of a guiding light for the character so that no matter what headspace he's in, you always know every decision and choice he makes is based in some sort of consistent truth?
Yeah, I mean, I have to do that just for me personally, but my cast, I have a phenomenal cast here, and they're so giving that I could depend on the family for a certain anchor of support. I could depend on the Muslim faith, and that I would actually have to learn while I was filming. I could look at Skye, I could look at Cory, Amari, I could look at Omar, I could look at Maryam, and in those eyes, I realized that this is a living, breathing production, and this is a story to tell of that Qasim so wonderfully wrote, that I could live in this. I don't have to make up anything here. The words will follow. Just follow the story and be vulnerable enough. Thank you for the opportunity to be vulnerable, to be human, to have this. It's the most vulnerable I've ever been, and it's really hard watching it because there's a vulnerability of 2 years ago, and I have a vulnerability of just talking right now. So it's an honor, it's a privilege to create art like this, and that's what that's what really, at the end of the day, meant the most to me.
Answer.
And I want to say too that we felt your vulnerability, and it was hard for us to watch too, just as an audience, because we all felt that vulnerability through your performance.
Yeah, it's like this movie has a spirit. Like there's a spirit with the movie. It's just kind of like the underdog story, and it's just like Qasim's an actor's dream. Like every actor wants to be in a film with Qasim. I said it earlier, like it's kind of like he grabs the camera and he just walks into the neighborhood, and we just get behind it and jump in the camera. Like that's a dream.
And let's just say that too. Go ahead.
That's a dream.
Go ahead.
So you know how the movie has some huge celebrity, right? Like we'll just say, I don't know, Denzel Washington. Detroit was like a Denzel Washington, right?
Yes,
meaning
facts.
It was a character in the film.
Yes.
And I've never seen a filmmaker have access the way that he does like he has a Denzel in the movie, which is Detroit. The man got into the airport in August of 2021.
Yes.
Everybody had on masks,
Right.
so we didn't have to get anything,
No
They
permits.
got all the way to the gate
He got to the
with
gate.
cameras.
Yes.
And
Shot
the
in,
two
what, 20
actors
minutes?
with their masks off.
Yes.
Yes.
How did you do that?
They gave him 15 minutes to do it.
It was always
Did it,
like,
and we-
okay, y'all need to wrap it up or I'm gonna lose my job.
We're gonna
right?
give
Like,
it
they
15
just
minutes.
gave him. Detroit just lended
Yeah.
the city to Qasim. I've never seen anyone have that kind of connection to so many human beings in a city in my entire experience in this industry.
And it's because of who he is and what he's
Exactly.
already done
100%.
for Detroit and in his filmmaking history.
Yeah.
And because of that, people who are from Detroit, like, they're going to recognize that rock scene. They're going to know exactly where that was. They know every bridge, and they're going to recognize those things, and it makes it more authentic.
But I gotta say, with all this too, I gotta say thank you to my cast for trusting, because you didn't know all that before you came to Detroit. You
I didn't know what I was hopping on the plane. I got on the plane. I didn't know.
Corey knew, because he'd been out there before and he's been on the ride with me before.
But I just want to say, bro, like you to show up as an actor and you don't know what you're, what's today going to be like. This is an independent film in Detroit, and to see your filmmaker with the camera on his back. I tell Qasim this all the time. I've never shot a film where the man carried the film on his literal back. No massages. We didn't have any time off. Yes. This man had the actual rig on his back. So as I'm going through, and it's a tough shoot, and it's a lot of walking. It's just a physical shoot as well.
And it was hot.
I'm watching this man with the, I can't take off. I'm looking at him. He's strapping this, what was it, a steady cam? He's putting
it was the armor man.
The armor man, yeah.
To hold up the Ronin.
Yeah.
Right, with the.
So
with
we
the
easy talking,
area
easy
electric.
50, easy.
This is probably about 60 pounds.
Yeah, easy.
In the club scene, we went into an actual club night.
Those
We
metamorphoses
went into a
kicked
club
in,
night.
bro.
They were just
It was an
there
active
to party.
club, partying.
Those were not like hired extras.
Those were real.
He just had so
people.
much amazing access.
Guerrilla
Yeah.
filmmaking at its
Guerrilla
finest.
And it
Yeah.
shows, and it shows in the film. The
Yeah.
quality is just more rich and gritty because of that.
It's incredible. I feel like when you're casting your next movie, you clip this out and you send it to everyone you want to work with and be like, look what I can give you.
He'll call
I
us
could talk
back.
about your movie all day long. I'm not allowed to. I have to let you guys go.
Okay.
Huge congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank
to
you.
Live
Thank you for
and
having
Die
us.
And congratulations
and
to you. We go way back, and I'm so proud of you.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
Dude.
proud of you.
Dude,
sure.
I'm proud of you. We're celebrating your movie, and everybody out there should know about it. I'm going to say it again. Congratulations to everybody out there. Keep an eye out for To Live and Die and Live.
Yes.
Also, stay tuned. We'll have more interviews from Sundance 2023 for you very soon.